Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, and today actually marks the 41st day of the year, and we have a lot to discuss today, including the threat of severe weather to return on Valentine's Day, and the possibility of an early spring with average spring-like conditions, despite what the groundhog predicted. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And to begin, I want to go ahead and take a look at our precipitation type, as this is how we can view all of the sort of precipitation, snow, ice, and all of that is pretty much happening over the United States and even into parts of Canada and Mexico. But starting off right now, we have a huge low-pressure system just above Michigan in areas such as like Toronto, Canada, bringing a pretty significant amount of lake effect snowfall just north of the peninsula of Michigan, and more on into the Canada areas, I guess you could say. And as we move on later on into tomorrow, the snow will begin to make its way into areas like Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, New York, and all those areas, with a little bit of freezing rain involved in parts of southern New York, as well as some rain showers across much of the central eastern U.S. And then another low pressure system just off of Canada, bringing a little bit of rain, like moderate rain, light rain, to much of the Canada area, including a little bit of snowfall more on the eastern sides of California. I'm not sure if I said Canada, but if I did, I mean California. Hopefully y'all can see where I'm pointing. But in the snow areas, a little bit of snowfall in areas like Utah, Colorado tomorrow. Just a little bit like light snow flurries, snow showers, nothing too crazy overall though. And this continues to stay as a rain shower in the southeast, and we will have some more freezing rain start to actually fire up into parts of like Highlands, New Jersey, into southeastern Pennsylvania, even into parts of southeastern New York, which could just cause some freezing rain, like I said. And then that snow will continue down areas like California. But I mainly want to highlight the Alberta Clipper that we could see over the next few days. But to go ahead and begin with our severe weather that we could actually see on Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th. This is that little rain showers that start to form up into the severe weather. Our main severe weather threat will be in parts of Louisiana, in the Arkansas area, which, as you can see here, this will begin to move through Mississippi and start to die out as it moves into parts of Alabama. And then it will be just rain pretty much as it moves through areas like Atlanta, Georgia. And once it moves to the Dothan, Alabama area, it will still consider be a decent severe thunderstorm, I guess you could say, with some more rain showers just up into areas like Virginia Beach. And then some more snow still out in areas like Washington and California. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at the snow system here, which, as we move on from now, pretty much all the way until February 17th, there will still continue to be snow in California and Nevada and those areas, as well as this pretty significant snow event that will occur just into Canada, just up to the north of the United States, which is all driven by a low pressure system, which will be driving all the snow, freezing rain, and all that stuff up through the north, as well as this sort of Alberta Clipper, I guess you could say, moving through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And then there will continue to be snow on the far western sides, pretty much as far as these models go. Then there's this other pretty significant snow system that will bring tons of freezing rain and a lot to the Ohio area. But I just want to go ahead and say that this is still 12 days out, so things will change and it will shift different ways. It could either strengthen or decrease its strength, but we don't know that yet. I will try to post y'all. I'll post whenever y'all need to be updated on something. So yeah, that's pretty much all we had to look at for the precipitation type. Now I want to go ahead and take a look at our 850 millibar temperature anomaly, as this is how we can sort of view all of the temperatures that we're going to be seeing in the United States over the next few days. And starting off right now, things are pretty warm for much of the U.S., to be honest, as well as some colder air up in Iowa. But as we move on through tomorrow, this warmer air will continue to move more east, sort of keeping it cooler, more on the western coast, providing the colder air that you need to have that snowstorm. This is all pretty much, I want to say, being pushed off by the colder air right on the California coast. And things will begin to cool down as we move on into late Wednesday and into Thursday morning. Not as hot temperatures, but there will still be some pretty significant warmth around the Dakotas and the Nebraska area, as well as some pretty significant cold, below average temperatures in areas like Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Delaware, all those sort of surrounding areas, as well as New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, all those sort of areas. Like I said, California will continue to stay pretty cold, as they will be receiving a lot of snow, which we will get into later on in the video. But things will pretty much continue to stay warm across much of the central and eastern U.S., except for the northeastern areas and the California area. The U.S. will be pretty warm over the next few days, especially as we move on into Valentine's Day. Now, there's this colder air mass clashing with this warmer air mass, all right? This warmer air mass has a whole bunch of moisture involved in it. And since warm, moist air is like sort of humidity, I guess you could say. So once warm, moist air clashes with colder air, cold Arctic air, it begins to sort of form the severe weather that we could see. And since this is happening, it is creating pretty strong above average temperatures and pretty strong above average cold temperatures, below average, I guess you could say, or above average cold. Sorry about that. But once they clash, they will create these severe storms, and this could pretty much bring a pretty significant storm threat for much of areas like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. Our main threat in Alabama will be Dothan, Alabama, though, through the Tuscaloosa, Dothan area. But mainly our severe weather threat is in place for Louisiana. Now we want to go ahead and begin with our total snowfall rates. It's just how we can view all of the snowfall that will occur in the United States over the next few days, which I just want to go ahead and say that the total snowfall is all the snow that is going to be happening over the next few days. This is not all falling at one consistent time on this map. This is just sort of highlighting how much snow an area could get to however many days out we go, which in this case we're only going to go out about 6 or 7 days, maybe even 8 days. But beginning right now, nothing too crazy. A little bit of snow up in the sort of upper peninsula of Michigan into areas like just southwest of Toronto, Canada, as well as a little bit of light snow flurries in the west coast, and then some more pretty significant amount of snow up in the Pacific Northwest areas. And as we move on into later tomorrow, or early morning hours tomorrow, snow begins to pick up in California and all those sort of areas, as well as some more pretty significant amounts of snow in the Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine area. While the snow just continues to build up in the Pacific Northwest as well as the California area, this snow system is actually expanding more to the eastern sides of the world and filling in the Toronto, Canada area. So if you're in Toronto, Canada, you could be receiving upwards of a foot of snow as we move on into February 16th. And even into Virginia areas, to be honest. A quick amount of snow buildup on Virginia on Sunday, which if we watch how fast it builds up into Monday, that is a pretty significant amount of snow. There will most likely be some schools canceled in the northwestern parts of North Carolina, but don't get your hopes up, as this still is 6 days out and things 100% can change. It will change as we move on into Monday, and snow will continue to build up across much of the California area, but we'll highlight that as I believe there could probably be upwards of 3 feet of snow in areas like the Canada, Nevada area, or California, Nevada area, sorry about that, as we move on into Monday, February 16th. Alright, now I want to go ahead and take a look at our composite reflectivity, as this is how we can sort of view the severe storm and severe weather closely in a more accurate sort of, like, I guess you could say, mainly highlights the severe thunderstorms and all that instead of the precipitation like the last model we looked at for the severe weather did. So as we move on to tomorrow, just some rain showers in parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia. Mainly the northern parts of the states, but if you're in Tennessee, it'll be the southern and northern parts of the states. So pretty much covering all of Tennessee. Going through much of the southeast, including areas like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, obviously Virginia, as it's going through Virginia Beach. A little bit of rain showers could even affect parts of Jacksonville, Florida. Nothing severe, obviously. Just a little bit of light to moderate rain showers. Off and on rain and some light pop-up thunderstorms in parts of California as we move on into Thursday. And then as we move on into Friday, some rain showers in Kentucky, Tennessee area. But overall, nothing really too crazy occurs, as well as some like rain showers. But I really want to highlight Saturday, February 14th, as this is when that severe weather event will really begin to pick up, which you can see all of them starting to sort of come together and just form into sort of one line of storms once they get into the Louisiana, Arkansas area, which as we move on into Saturday morning is when they will really begin to move on into their line, and they will begin to move through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Probably early morning hours on Sunday, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., even into like the 1 a.m. hours. And there's a potential that I could go live for this, which I do go live during any severe weather event. If there's a tornado warning that pops up or anything, I will be monitoring these storms closely to tell y'all if I need to go live. I will be consistently posting on my community page just to sort of help keep y'all updated on when I'm going to go live and all of that stuff. So I know it's going to be late morning hours, but if you are involved in this threat, you might want to probably watch the weather, definitely, which this will bring, I believe, a threat of tornadoes in areas like Louisiana. But once we get on into tomorrow and into even Thursday, we will be able to view the categorical outlook, and then it's mainly the Thursday times that we can view the tornado outlook for this storm, which I believe will definitely at least be a 5% risk, even a chance for a 10% risk, but overall, I don't believe that's going to happen, which, if y'all are not familiar with the tornado outlook pages, it only goes up to about a 20%, so that is pretty significant. You may be thinking to yourself, like, 10% is not a lot, but 10 out of 20% is pretty significant. I don't understand really why they do that, but just know that if you're new to weather, that is what they do, and yeah. However, that was all we had to talk about today. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope y'all got something out of this. Make sure to definitely stay safe, watch the weather. I will be posting anytime y'all need to be updated. Thank you to all my storm chasers out there. We do have live storm chasers on the ground whenever we are doing live coverage for this. Working out another one. Hopefully it'll work out. But, yeah, like I said, I might go live for this severe weather event, so don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. Like the video if you haven't already. It really helps you understand how much. Also, don't forget to share this video with friends and family to help spread the weather awareness. And I will see y'all next time. Peace.